A lot of people talk about fear of failure, but what about fear of success? Like being so afraid of how successful you can be that you'd just rather not succeed at all. How do I feel after one full year on YouTube? I feel great. In fact, never felt better. I've always wanted to be a creator. I've always wanted to be able to touch lives everywhere. And here I am doing exactly that.
When did you first decide to get into YouTube and why?
I first decided to launch my YouTube channel in April of 2024, so exactly 1 year ago. I just left my 9 to 5 a few months earlier, and I was just ready for a new thing in my career. And yeah, I actually used to work as a content marketer, but I was sick of it. I got sick of the politics and the corporate world and stupid content. I was making content no one asked for, like tell, sell, tell, sell, tell, sell. Well, what if I don't want to sell and I just want to tell? That's all I ever wanted. Freedom. The freedom to tell the stories that I want to tell. But let's face it, money is a thing. So I was trying to find ways to make it work. So the question was, how can I only tell and not sell, but still also sell? And then in April 2024, it hit me. Maybe the guys over at YouTube want to pay me to tell my stories. It just made so much sense. I didn't really have to think about it that much. I just deleted all the videos I had uploaded to the channel I created when I was 9. And well, the rest is history.
What is the hardest thing about being a YouTuber?
Can you do it? Can you? No? Most people will tell you that the hardest thing about being a YouTuber is actually making it as a YouTuber, as in having millions of subscribers, earning millions of euros. But for me, that's not it. For me, the hardest thing about being a YouTuber is deciding what I want to create. I am my biggest problem. When you decide to create for yourself, you suddenly realize that you're free. In fact, you're so free that you don't really know what to do with your freedom. There's you, right? You're here. And then there's all these possibilities of all the things you could create, like all these ideas. The world is your oyster. How do you decide which ones are worth creating and which ones are not? I had to try so many things until I found something I actually deeply cared about and wanted to share with the world. And it failed. Turns out I didn't really care about it that much, but I was just doing what I thought the world wanted for me to do, what the world needed to hear. I was serving the algorithm and it failed. And that's when I realized that YouTube is much more than an algorithm. YouTube is bigger than all of us. This is why finding your niche is such a huge topic. I had to narrow mine down so much that only a handful of people are watching my videos. But now my audience is tiny. That's how I know it's working. It's clicking. Can't get more niche than that.
What is your favorite thing about being a YouTuber?
There are so many because being a YouTuber is like the best career path right now, and everyone should become a YouTuber. But hey, why don't we move this out of my office? Much better. Okay, my favorite thing about being a YouTuber is growth, evolution, self acceptance, or self rejection, because you can't really accept yourself unless you reject yourself first. Being on YouTube is so confronting, like you can't hide. Can't hide from your friends or your family, can't even hide from yourself. It confronts you to all the fears you've been running away from for basically your entire life. Like your fear of your own voice or your own face. Boom. It's all registered. And then you have to sit down and edit through all that stuff. And the more you look at yourself, the more you hate yourself. Yes, that is really how other people see you. That is exactly how you sound like when you talk. And when you realize that you're just full of imperfections, it just becomes incredibly hard to feel good about yourself. But if you want to be on YouTube, you need to get over that. And the next step is to click publish, right? Can't really do that unless you decide to be brave and learn. Teach yourself how to love all the things you're designed to hate. And when you take that step, and you bridge the gap between feeling disgusted by yourself and loving how disgusting you are, guess what happens next? Your content hits the net and people just don't love your imperfections the same way you do. And they feel obliged to let you know. You should know. People love to judge, man. And you being on YouTube is like giving them permission to judge you for free, forever. Once something goes out, it's gonna stay out. You and I will die one day, but the internet will live on forever. What I'm trying to say is that being on YouTube means you cannot be afraid of being judged. It's like a package deal. You go on YouTube, you make yourself stand out. And to make things even worse, your failures are going to be standing right next to you. And people are going to let you know, especially your family, because they have so much experience and they understand YouTube very well. Trust me. So if you're serious about being a YouTuber, you can't be afraid of being judged. And you cannot be afraid of failure. At the same time, being a YouTuber and being a failure go hand in hand for a very long time until one of them wins. You're eventually either going to be a YouTuber or a failed YouTuber, but you cannot become one of the two unless you're both first. So how do you deal with that? No, seriously, can you help me?
Are there any famous YouTubers you'd like to work with?
I would have said David Lynch, but unfortunately... Ooh, I know! Richard Linklater. He's one of my favorites, by far. Those are not YouTubers, they're filmmakers. How are those two different?
How much money do you make from YouTube each month?
You hear a lot about how much money people make from YouTube. There's YouTubers making videos about how much money a previous video has earned them, making even more money in the process. Like, is this the future? Are we in the future? Like, all it takes is one viral video. Like, these people over at YouTube are really generous, man. Hands down, best employer I've ever had. But I'm not in this for the money, Telling stories has a deeper meaning for me. Money is just a little bonus. It's like when you go to the store and milk is on sale. Buy one, get one for free. So you leave the store with 2 cartons of milk, even though you only really needed one. Same goes for me making money from my videos. The world is my oyster, and YouTube is my carton of milk.
If not money, what is your definition of being successful on YouTube?
Sorry, I had to go grab some coffee because this discussion is making me really tired. Tired of spreading wisdom. Yeah, with milk. Where were we? Oh, right. For me, you're truly successful in YouTube when you can take as much time as you want to create the exact kind of content you have in mind. So to tell the stories you want to tell. No compromises. Like, it could take months. It could take years even for you to finish something. But people will just eat it up regardless of its quality because it's organic. And organic will beat mass production any day. Like, people will actually sit around and wait, until you're ready to share, until you're done. They have nothing better to do. Your content is what's most important in their lives. So, no pressure. Take your time, do your thing. And then when you're done and you finally push it out, just They go crazy, okay? They go crazy. They love you for it. They love you because you're changing their lives. That's what YouTube success is about for me. Changing lives.
What is your advice to someone thinking about starting their own channel?
Here's what I wish someone told me a year ago when I was only getting started. Nothing changes until you do. Nothing changes until you do. In other words, unless you stop being a loser, you're not gonna win. So my advice to someone thinking about starting their own YouTube channel is to just do it. If you're letting your imperfections or your weaknesses get in the way, you're just being really dumb, okay? Because you won't live forever, my friend. And when you die, you won't have any imperfections. You won't be weak. You'll just be dead. And dead people don't even remember their failures. So whether you want to win or you want to fail, my advice is the same. Just do it. Because if you keep thinking about getting started, but then you don't, what you're really doing is you're just wasting time, because every day you spend thinking is a day you could have spent living as a rich YouTuber. It's really easy. If I can do it, then you can do it too. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Anyways, that's beyond the point. The point is to just do it. Just record something and then get on YouTube and click publish. And then boom, you're making impact. Power.
What is next for your channel?
There can only be one thing that comes next for my channel, and that is greatness. I have a great vision for my channel and for my life, and I can't wait for that vision to come to life so that you guys can also benefit from it. Yeah. People have said I'm generous before. Like I'm so generous, I don't even want to keep my greatness myself. Why do you think I got on here to begin with? I put my mouth where my money is, okay?